families. So if each family owned at least one building, that's kind of what sounds like a grouping game, because you could have more, right? So I would come in here and say, okay, each family is going to have at least one, but maybe more. And then it says that the historical evidence establishes that W owned more of the buildings than Y. So the rule is just technically W is greater than Y. But in terms of the numbers, what does that mean? I mean, Y has at least one, right?
Right, and W has at least two.
So then W is going to have at least two. Could W have three?
Yes.
Could Y have two?
No.
No, why not?
Because then there would be nothing for T to have.
Yeah, then T would be empty, and they said everyone has at least one, right? So we now know that this is 1, always, and then this is 2 or 3, which makes T 1 or 2.
Right.
Because if it has 2, if W has 2, then T is going to have 2 as well. So, okay. Now, one thing we could do, well, let's take a look at the other rules first, but neither I nor M belong to the owner of F. Wait. Neither I nor M belong to the owner of F. Okay. Yeah, so F and could not be with M or I. Yep. Then either T owns the S or Y owns the N in or both. So either T has S or Y has I. Now, what this normally looks like to me is S and I go back and forth, and so I just clarified it's either TS or YI. You could write or both, but that's implicit in all or statements unless they say otherwise. Okay. You know, when they say but not both. So, okay. I mean, one thing we could do here is we could split. Did you happen to split on the basis of W? Because W is either going to be 2 or 3.
You mean make more than one world?
Yeah, make 2 worlds. I mean,
I didn't have enough time.
Didn't have time?
Yeah.
Okay, well sometimes worlds actually save time because once you kind of solve everything.
Right.
Here, well, I'm inclined to try it out just because if that's true, then we know the structure. In other words, you know exactly how many are in each.
Right.
And so, at the very least, I'd probably just write 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, that would be incorrect. This would be 2 and 2, right? Or we're gonna have 1, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Okay.
Now, let's see. Given this, the only thing I'm thinking of is FIM. Like they can't be together. So here, yeah, you could put IM together. So let's just wait and see. Now, in terms of the questions, I would do the if one. Well, I do 14 and then the if ones from there. Which ones did you want to tackle?
I think I got all the answers right. I just was having issues. I felt like I had to make more scenarios that were necessary.
Than were necessary. Yeah. Well, one thing is, even if you don't split for the overall game, when you're going through individual questions and they say, for example, like there was a question here, right? 17. If one of the families owned both G and I, which one could be true? Well, G and I is not going to go in Y because you can only have one, right?
So it could only be under W.
W or T. Now, if
it was under T, it would have to also have S because either S.
Yes, then you'd have to have S, right? And that's not a possibility.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that sometimes you don't see that right away, so you can just split worlds as you're going through the individual questions. And I think if you don't hesitate, that can save you time. You create more, but at the same time you quickly see, oh yeah, that's not going to work, and that keeps you moving forward, as opposed to trying to think, well, where's that GI going to go?
Right.
And maybe 17 wasn't such a challenging one, but for others, you know, if you're saying, where could Y go? I know it has to go in these two, so I'm going to try both, and then maybe you see right away that one of them doesn't work.
Right.
But it keeps you moving forward.
Right.
Yeah. Any other questions on this game while we have it up? Rose?
I'm just taking a look now. No, I don't think so.
Don't think so? It went pretty well? Okay. All right.
Could we also go over the setup for game, the fourth set?
Yeah, of course.